As human beings, all of us naturally strive for love. We want companionship. We want people around us. But I think where it gets messy is where we fear being alone. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting other people to be around you, to want friends, to want a relationship. I think that's normal human being stuff. But I think sometimes we realize and we not realize, but we start to think that being alone is a bad thing because we strive for love, because we naturally want companionship. When that is far from the truth. And what I've realized is, as someone that's kind of been alone for a while, I'm not gonna say I'm like this dude that doesn't have any friends or family, but I've lived in solitude for parts of my life, and I've realized there's benefits from being alone. I think everybody needs to be alone. I think there's a lot of people that live their entire lives without living in any solitude, and they lack so much awareness and so many other things I'm going to talk about in this video. And so what I want to do, if you're someone that's living alone, that doesn't have a girlfriend, doesn't have a boyfriend, that doesn't have as many friends at this point in your life, what I want you to know is, one, this is a chapter of your life. This isn't forever, okay? You're not going to be alone forever unless you decide to do that. But I want you to know, in this time, it isn't wasted time. It isn't time that's like the worst part of your life because you don't have anybody. There's benefits and there's things you can take advantage from being alone. And I want to give you 12 benefits from being alone. My name is Jamar. I help people find their passion and create a life meant for them and just turn themselves into the best version of themselves. If you like that type of stuff, I don't even know what I was gonna say. Like, comment, or subscribe. I don't know. I'm really casual. If you watch my videos, you see I'm very casual. I don't really do any edits. We're gonna get right into it. Also, I have a book that just came out that gives all the game I've ever had. If you end up listening to this and like, man, this dude's kind of cool, and you want to read my story, my book is a memoir. The link's in my description. But let's get right into the 12 different benefits of being alone, okay? The first one, and feel free, if you ever have any questions in this video, to drop in the comments. I'll respond to all my comments, at least for now, until I blow up and I act like I don't know nobody. But right now, I'll respond to all my comments. So if there's any questions, anything I say on this, just tap in, I'll respond to you. And maybe I'll make another video off of your question. But first one is, you're forced to take accountability. Ability. I might spell that wrong. But what's super beautiful about being alone is that there's no other variables. You can't blame it on anybody else but yourself. And what accountability is, and what's so beautiful about accountability, or for yourself when you take your own accountability, is that it opens up yourself to the fullest amount of growth. A lot of us, we miss out on growth because we're constantly placing the blame on other people, the reason why certain things aren't happening, and so we miss out on the growth. So when the accountability, when the fault is always on you, even if it isn't, that's what allows you to always grow. So for me in my life, from being alone, and now even when I'm not alone, I always take full accountability, okay? Someone does me wrong, yeah, they did me wrong, but what did I do to keep them in my life, okay? What did I do to elevate them to continue doing that? Did I support their wrongdoings? Whatever it may be, everything's is accountability for me in my life, from when I was alone to when I'm with other people, because I have my time of being alone. It's super important that you're alone because you learn to be accountable and to always take yourself accountable, and this is going to allow you to have so many more benefits we're going to talk about. But if you're not accountable, if you're not always checking yourself, then you could be missing out on ways you could be getting better. You could be missing out on awareness to know things you should and shouldn't do. When you have this almost like foundation of always holding yourself accountable, it allows you to always be growing, allows you to always be searching for ways to get better. The reason why you're here on earth, okay? You'd be dead if you weren't having opportunities to grow, you wouldn't be around, okay? What I always tell myself when I wake up, not always, but kind of, is like, if I woke up today, that means there's more progress for me. All of us as human beings, what's beautiful about life is that none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We're always going to be having things we need to work on. It's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. It means there's always something to work on. And so if there's always something to work on, there's always something to hold ourselves accountable for. Therefore, if we're not accountable, we're not going to be able to grow. We're not taking advantage of our time on earth, okay? So it's super important that you realize being alone, not having someone telling you to do all the time, is making you be accountable. There's no one else to blame, okay? Next one. It gives you time to reflect. Okay. One things I believe that happens, and these are going to get better as I keep going. Okay. These are kind of the foundational ones, but there's some different ways of thinking as I keep going. But the second one is time to reflect. One of the things I believe is really hurting this generation right now in this technology era where we have all this social media, short form content, all this entertainment, is that a lot of us aren't bored enough. This is one of my big takes on the world right now. A lot of us aren't bored. Okay, one of the things I knew my parents were they were bored sometimes, okay? Or at least they weren't having as much entertainment on like their disposal immediately. Like if we're ever like, oh, I don't have anything to do, TikTok. Oh, I don't have anything to do, Netflix. Oh, I don't have anything to do, video games. We have all these things and we aren't thinking, yo, who am I? Did I have fun doing that? What did I think about this? What's my perspective on this? I'm someone that's written a whole book about my entire philosophy on life and done things I'm really proud of. Why? Because I took time to freaking think about what I was seeing. A lot of us, we're not even like thinking about what we're seeing. We're just constantly in this state of doing, when it's in the state of not doing, meditation, that we actually learn about ourselves. There's a quote from J. Cole from one of his songs. I'm going to take out the profanity. And he says, the good news is that you came a long way. The bad news is that you went the wrong way. A lot of us were making progress, but we're making progress in the wrong direction. That's negative progress. If you're meant to go this way, but you never thought about where you're supposed to go and you're making all this progress, you may feel good because you're making progress, but what if you were meant to go that way? So we have to reflect to ever be able to figure out. If we're constantly in a relationship, if we're constantly distracted, constantly talking to people, and we're not ever actually figuring out who we are, then our actions aren't being as efficient because we never know what direction they're supposed to go in. Being alone forces us, it gives us no other choice but to be alone and to reflect. Now, if you're alone, that doesn't mean to just waste your time playing video games. Take time to literally sit and look at the freaking sky, okay? And give yourself time to think about, yo, who am I? Every experience, ask yourself why, okay? I did this, did I like it? Why did I like it, okay? That gives you clues to other things you could try out. When you don't like something, when you don't like this type of person, ask yourself why, and it gives you clues, and now you never have to even try to talk to a girl that got kids again. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not doing that. You learn different things about yourself. It allows you to be more efficient with everything you do in the future, okay? But if you never reflect, if you're never alone, a lot of us never have the awareness to be able to make the correct decisions, okay, in the future. When you reflect, it allows the decisions in the future to be so much easier because you know who you are, okay? It's hard to say no when you don't even know what you're, okay. Y'all see what I'm going. Okay, next one. And this kind of goes with what I just said. Learn what you truly want. And I can expand on this a little bit. Because a lot of us, we don't really know what we truly want. We just want things because other people told us we're supposed to want that. A lot of us will date girls because our friends said she looks good, not because we think she looks good. We're constantly in a state of approval. We're constantly in a state of wanting to look successful, look like we've reached some type of goal to other people instead of actually being that. A lot of us would rather look happy than actually be happy. But if you don't know what actually makes you happy, then the only thing you have to do is to rely on approval from other people. But when you actually sit with yourself in the darkness, when you actually learn what you want, then it changes the whole game. Okay, I've realized there's things in my life when it comes to my friends that they're super big on, like their priorities. I'm like, I just don't like that. Like, I just don't. Like, I'll talk to my friends sometimes, and they're, how do I put this? They're really big on like casual relationships. That's how I'm gonna put it. I'm not big on that, and I used to, try to adapt myself to be like them because they're telling me that's how you're supposed to be as a man. But I don't know. I'm a lover boy, okay? I realize what I want. And now I found myself having so much more peace, so much more happiness because I'm not going after things I realize that's not even me. A lot of us spend our entire lives going after jobs, careers, people, things, achievements, not because that's what we're meant for, what we actually want, but because someone else told us that's what we're supposed to want. That's not fun. But if you're never alone and you don't reflect and figure out what you truly want, you'll spend your entire life going after stuff you were never meant for in the first place. And you'll think once you get to the top of the mountain and get that, you'll be happy. But that's never what life was about. Life was about the process and doing who you are, being who you are, and doing what you love to do, okay? If you never take the time to reflect, you're never going to be able to know what you truly want. And so it's super beneficial to be alone sometimes because it gets you out the way of other people's opinions. What do we have next? Boom. We on number 4? Okay. Okay, yeah, I love this one. Build a routine. Build a routine around your priorities first. Okay, one thing that happens in life, and I know this as someone that's been a boyfriend, that's been a brother, that's been, not been, but like I am, but I'm not a boyfriend no more. Hopefully I am in the future to someone. But you have all these things, these responsibilities, and you will always have responsibilities in life. But when you're isolated, when you're alone, you take away some of the responsibilities, okay? As someone that's a single male right now, like I don't have as many, I need you to do this because I don't have a girlfriend, okay? It's pretty nice, okay? I actually have some peace of silence. And so it allows you to set up your routine in a way that prioritizes yourself more. And what I've realized in life is when you prioritize yourself, it allows you to become a whole version of yourself that actually allows you to help more people out. But if you don't prioritize yourself first in your routine, it causes you to be this person that's never happy, that's never the fullest you can be. You're not reaching your potential. And so while you may be helping all these people, you're never at your best self, and you're missing out on more people you can have ever helped. I have a philosophy on life. This is what I wrote my book on. This is what kind of all my videos come back to. It is my philosophy. It's in one quote: being selfish enough to do the thing you love to do is actually how you help as many people as possible. Okay, I believe a person has to be selfish in order to be unselfish in their most unselfish form. And if we never build our routine that prioritizes what makes us happy, then we're never ever going to be able to become the person that can fulfill our truest potential to help as many people as possible. And being alone allows us to actually figure out what is our priorities and build a routine that actually works through those priorities. A lot of us, we have a routine, we have a way of living that prioritizes other people. That prioritizes a job, that prioritizes what someone else needs and not what we need. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have a job when you're alone. I'm just saying you need to build out a routine in your life that allows you to prioritize what makes you happy. For me, I like getting up early in the morning before it's even time for people to be able to call me on my phone to make videos like this. Okay, I usually get up at 5:30 in the morning, I make this video, and I feel like, man, I already won the day before my mom, my dad, my sister, my grandmother, my friends are even calling me, because I built a routine that allows me to achieve the one thing that makes me happy. I enjoy doing this. Regardless of how many views I get in this video, I enjoy doing this. I have a routine that prioritizes the things I love first. It allows me to feel full before anything else I can't control comes around. And when we're alone, it allows us to figure that out and build that out before more of these responsibilities come. Because as the older you get, the more things or people that you bring in your life, the less and less opportunities you'll have to build that foundation of a routine that allows you to be whole. Okay, it's super important to use this time of being alone to build a routine that prioritizes your priorities. Because when you do that, it actually allows you to do all those other things that aren't your priorities way better, because you're a better version of yourself. Okay, I feel like I just kind of cooked right there. And my phone locked up, so I got to unlock it to get to the next one. All right, what do we got next? We're on number 5. Okay, and I think this kind of goes with the last one. You learn to love yourself. One of the biggest reasons a lot of people they get stuck in relationships and friendships they're not supposed to be in, not because they really need that person, but because they haven't become the person that's there for themselves. And so what happens is when you're in relationships, you're letting red flags go by, you're letting bad things done to you go by, because the worst thing that can happen in this situation is them leaving. And so you let everything slide, and that only multiplies and compounds more and more bad things happening to you because you're letting them do it. But when you love yourself, like for me, because I've had this time alone, like in my dating right now, or even my friends right now, I'm cool with cutting people off. I'm cool being like, yeah, I'm not doing that. You know why? Because I have to go back to being alone. I already know I am enough for me. I can cheer myself up. I can take myself on a date. You want to go get acai bowls? Let's go get acai bowls. You want to go to the movies? Let's go to the movies. You want to do that? I love myself enough that I don't need another person to do that. So what that means is when I'm out there pursuing relationships, when I'm out there talking to new people, I can be picky, which allows me to have the space for the person that's actually meant for me. A lot of us were missing out on the relationships, on the friendships we're meant for, because we're keeping people around us that aren't up to our standards, because we haven't learned to love ourselves. When you learn to love yourself and you maybe alone a little bit longer, you're more picky, so it's not as consistent, or it's not as as regular that new people come in your life. But when they come and they reach those standards, it's so beautiful because you weren't allowing someone that wasn't meant for you to fill in your space. So when you love yourself, it allows you to be picky because you always got you. A lot of y'all don't got yourself, so therefore you whoever you match with on Hinge, you gotta rock with them. You begging, all right? Me, I'm cool cutting people off. Why? Because guess what? If you ghost me, I ghost you, whatever. I'm good. Now, I'm not saying that I don't ever get depressed. I don't ever dang, I thought, you know what I'm saying? I think it was 2 weeks ago, I went on a date and I was really liking the girl. And she was like, I just want to be friends. Did it hurt? Yeah. But I'm able to get over it more because guess what? I love myself. When you're alone, you have no choice but to figure out how to love yourself. Okay? Use this time to love yourself, man, because when you love yourself, it allows all your relationships in the future to be so much better, okay? Because now you've learned to love yourself. It's really hard to love other people when you can't even love yourself. And that's honestly where I think toxic things happen in relationships, is because people are relying on other people for what they're supposed to be doing for themselves. Oh, I just spit. Oh, okay, what's the next one? I'm on fire. Okay, boom. Your emotions aren't controlled as much by things you can't control. And this kind of goes off what I was just talking about. When you don't love yourself, right? Your emotions are now attached to things you can't control, okay? If you're not getting, I can control love for myself. I can control doing the thing I love to do. I can control doing things that make me happy. I cannot control another person loving me. So therefore, my emotions, my good spirits are controlled by someone. It is in the hands of something I can't control. And so when you learn to love yourself because you're alone, you end up being able to have your emotions invested in things that you can actually control. Now, I'm not saying this is perfect. I still get sad over things I can't control. Obviously, it's just less and less of that. A lot of us, our entire lives, our entire heart is in the hands of someone else. That's never okay. It should be in your hands. Now, pieces of it you can give to other people, but you got to be able to not be controlled as much by other people's feelings or other people's things that you can't control. And so, my notification is going off. But I think it's super important to be able and not be controlled by things you can't control, okay? For example, for me, even in business, okay? For me, when I'm talking to other clients, potential clients, and they don't rock with me, I tell them my price. And if anybody doesn't know, I'm an inspirational speaker. I speak at schools. Sometimes they ain't rock with me. Sometimes it used to be really hard on me, but now I realize, man, I'm always going to have me. Okay, I realize whatever is happening exactly when it's supposed to happen. Because I love myself enough, I'm not depending or wanting or needing anyone else to rock with me, which actually allows you to be more beautiful when they do, because I wasn't expecting it, okay? So when you're able to be alone and you learn more about yourself, you're able to put your emotions in things that you actually can't control. It's still going to happen, but it just happens less. It's never fun having your heart broken and you can't control it, all right? What's the next one? Ooh, yes. Realize your potential. A lot of times what ends up happening in relationships, and I've been a victim of this, someone is so amazing, we think we need them. Ooh, I need some water. Hold on. Oh my goodness, what did I eat this morning? But someone is so amazing, we think we need them. They do something that we can't do or we don't know how to do yet. And we're like, man, this is the person I need. This is my other half. And you see, so you think all these other things are just for them, for them to do in your life. And you're supposed to do this for them. And all this stuff happens. They're so amazing. And you start forgetting, and you love them so much you forget that you're dope too. And that's what happened to me. I remember being in a relationship, and I was like, this person is amazing. This person can do all this stuff. Like, I remember I couldn't do anything with a camera that was a professional camera. I'm just not good with that. I'm not good at the technology. And I used to think, man, they got that. I can't do that. That's not what I'm able to do. I am not enough to do that stuff because I have them. Okay, this is what I do, and they do that. And we broke up, and I thought my life was over because all these things that I said, that's their role in my life. I was like, I'm cooked. I'm never going to be able to figure out how to podcast I started. I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. I'm not going to be able to shoot content. I always told myself I'm not. And then I was alone, had no other choice but to figure out all this other stuff. Lo and behold, I realized I actually enjoy doing that. I realized I can do this. I'm actually cold at it, okay? Now I film all these 4K videos everywhere. I do all this cool stuff. I remember maybe a year and a half after I was going through my breakup, I even edited a whole video. I thought I couldn't edit. I thought that was just foreign language to me. But then I realized, hey, you can do anything now. 4 years later, I'm like, man, there isn't anything I can't do as long as I put my mind to it, okay? Being alone gave me the realization that I have so much more potential if I just put my mind to things, okay? A lot of times, a relationship is beneficial to us. It's great. It's beautiful. It makes us happy. But sometimes it's putting a cap on our potential because we're not allowing ourselves to grow. We're not testing ourselves. We're just saying, hey, no. We have to always be able to hold ourselves accountable. We also have to be able to always be exploring and never limiting ourselves. And sometimes we're around someone else that's doing all these things. We're limiting ourselves and thinking we can do it as well, okay? So I'm super thankful that I ended up being alone because it allowed me to know I could do all these things. This YouTube video wouldn't be a thing. All the content on my Instagram wouldn't be a thing. Y'all follow me on Instagram, Jamar. I'm making all these cool videos that I'm having how much fun filming and editing. It wouldn't have been possible. There's all these things. I have a whole business. I probably wouldn't be doing this if I didn't end up being alone. There's so many things that happened in my life because I was alone. What I want y'all to know, and I may be going ahead of number 12. I'm going to skip to number 12, okay? Do I want to skip? It's a dope one. It's a dope one. Oh, y'all going to have to wait till number 12, okay? Yeah, but because I have a dope point that's going to put all these together. This is really the best one, okay? So if you're still with me and you're like, all right, he's giving enough. No, wait till you get to number 12. It's dope, okay? Number 8. And this kind of goes with what I just said. Pick up new skills and passion. So I kind of already explained this. When you realize your own potential, you're forced to try new things out and realize you actually have more ability. And so I have new skills, I have new passions, things I love to do. Being alone allows us to really explore and learn more about ourselves. I don't need to spend more time on that one. What's the next one? Okay. Gives you the ability to love unconditionally. I think the most beautiful thing in the world is unconditional love. I think that's what's the word? That's where all of our specialism is. I don't think that's a word. But I think all of beauty, all of our amazing potential is on the other side of unconditional love. I define unconditional love, or I define passion as unconditional love. Passion is something you love regardless, okay? That's where beauty is, because no longer are you depending on things, again, that you can't control. You're just doing it for the love of it. When you love someone just because, you love them whether they leave you or not, that's the most beautiful love. When you love doing something, regardless if you get results or not, if someone says, hey, you're doing a good job or not, that's when you're having the most beauty, the most creativity. When you're able to be alone, and you do all these things, you're able to love unconditionally because you're not relying again on things you can't control. You're able to do this without, like, for example, I'm able to be alone, so therefore I have things in my life that I love regardless. I don't need anything I can't control, so I have all these passions and skills I just talked about. So now I have all these things I know I love regardless. A lot of us were doing things because, it impresses them. It's like, I remember for a long time I had a lot of hair, okay? If y'all have been on my channel for a while, you see I used to have, like, twists in my hair. I used to have long hair, like 10 years of hair. Till I realized, man, do I love my hair? Do I love my hairstyle? Or do I love the women it attracts? Okay, do I love the way people would talk about my hair and it attracts them to me? And then I realized, man, I don't love my hair. I just love, you know what I'm saying? I'm prisoning myself to get opinions from other people. Then I cut my hair and I loved myself so much more. I felt so much more free, okay? We have to figure out what we love unconditionally. And if we're not alone, sometimes we don't know that. We're doing things and we think we're doing it because we love it, but we don't really love it unconditionally. We love it because other people like it, okay? And so for me, I realized I didn't like it. And you know what happens when you love yourself unconditionally? You do the things you love unconditionally, it attracts the people that are actually meant for you. Okay, when you're loving things conditionally, you're kind of manipulating other people for someone that isn't even you. When you do the things you love unconditionally, it attracts all the other people that love you unconditionally. It just makes your life more and more beautiful, okay? Hope y'all are understanding what I'm kind of explaining right now. And I hope... Bro, the audio went out, yo. The audio went away with my medicine. Yo, I hope y'all can still hear me during that time. Boom, boom, boom. Man, the audio went out when my medicine... Hope y'all can still hear me. I did have my external mic there. We're going to keep going. It's just going to be bad audio from that part. I'm so sorry for the bad audio, but let's get back into the video. Super important again, unconditional love. What's the next one? Just at number 9. Okay, 10 people. Okay, number 10. And this kind of goes with what I was just saying. The people that need to leave. And this is kind of what I was talking about. When you're loving unconditionally, you're doing all these things, it allows the people that actually don't rock with you to leave. And it gives you space to have the people that would, okay? And so when I cut my hair, it gave me that space. Oh, you don't rock with me, you only like my hair? Okay, cool. And I was alone, but then allowed the people that are actually meant for me to be in my life, okay? Being alone isn't a bad thing. It gives you space to be able to get the right people, okay? And I think this kind of goes with the next one. Let me change this. You now have space for what's aligned. Dang, I'm still mad the audio went out. Man, it's okay. You have space for what's aligned, okay? So what's super important is that when you end up leaving the things that are no longer aligned with you, that you've realized from the reflecting from being alone, have space for the things that are meant for you, whether that's goals, whether that's careers, whether that's people, whatever may be relationships. Have the space. And this brings me to my final point. And I'm so butthurt that the audio went out, bruh. But it's all God's plan, okay? It's all the universe plan, which brings me to the final point, okay? When you've been alone, when you've detached yourself from the things you can't control, it allows you to realize the power of trusting God or the universe. So I'm not here to put any religious views on y'all, whatever you believe in. But if you're someone that believes in a higher power, okay, then you understand that there's a bigger plan that we don't know about, and we have to kind of trust it, have faith, okay? When you're being alone, it allows you to come in tune with understanding that you don't really know what's going on. You have to trust it. There's a lot of things we want, we think we need that don't happen, but we have to realize there's a bigger thing going on. There's a bigger plan. I always like to say, don't judge the present when you don't understand the future. There's a lot of things that happened in my life. There's a lot of things happening in your life. There's a lot of things that didn't happen, that did happen, that you didn't want to happen, that is actually propelling you into something in the future that you're really going to be thankful for. If it wasn't for me being alone when I thought I needed someone, I wouldn't have ever learned who I am, what I love to do, to ever be right here on this video right now with you guys, to be on thousands of stages all across the country, doing what I love to do, making a good amount of money, living in my own space, having a lot of fun, only really having to work when I want because things happened, okay? And I learned how to be alone. And I learned all of these things from being alone. I'm telling you, being alone isn't a bad thing. All of us have different chapters. Some people are meant to be alone now. Some people are meant to be married with kids right now. Whatever it may be, understand that you have your own path, your own process, your own timing. When you learn to trust whatever's happening, to see the duality in everything, sometimes we have to be alone to understand how much we appreciate not being alone, okay? But if we're never alone, then we won't really appreciate being with, okay? So it's super important that you understand everything's happening for a reason, that there's things you can take advantage of right now, and if you learn to love yourself, if you learn to be patient, if you learn to reflect on yourself, it's going to serve you for the rest of your life. I'm so sorry for the audio being weird, but if you like more videos like this where my audio doesn't mess up for the most part, go check out some of my other videos. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my book link in the description. Hope you have a great day. Thank y'all. Hope it helped. Peace.